Good evening. For the past 3 years, the independent music world has seen the brutal slayings of some of its most acclaimed artists. Most recently, the savage murders of all 3 members of Yo La Tengo, which in Spanish means of the tango. Despite numerous eyewitness accounts, no suspect has been detained for this murder nor for any of the other murders connected to a growing feud between the East Coast and West Coast members of the Indie-Folk-Rock-Alternative music scene. But no one dared to ask the real questions. How did it start? And more importantly, when will the violence end? Searching for answers, I found myself in the backwoods of South Carolina to interview Sam Beam, the lead singer of Indie-Folk-Rock-Alternative mainstay, Iron and Wine.
The why, the what? You're asking all the wrong questions. How? How could this thing have happened?
I did ask, how could this happen?
You're looking in the wrong place. The beginning, the end, they're all just words. It's all the same. It's all just blood. It's been shed.
Look, I just want to know how all this started.
It's hard to say.
Look, there are very differing views and opinions on this whole subject. I myself subscribe to the early days. West Coast, East Coast feuding is one of the best things that have ever happened to the music industry. I mean, Christ, look at Biggie, Tupac, Snoop Doggy Dogg.
Glen Tompkins, of the Tompkins & Tompkins Talent Agency and Bumper Cars, represents members of both sides of the East Coast-West Coast feud.
All of those guys. And Thelonious Monk. Sorry, what was the question? Look at Zach Braff with the whole Garden State soundtrack thing. Fuck. Look at man, he opened up the floodgates on that thing. I mean, true, don't get me wrong, Garden State soundtrack did bring a lot of performers into the mainstream, but Christ, man, if he only knew the ramifications of the shit that he pulled on that album. Fuck. Tore this world in half is what he did. East, West, Mordor, Gundor, all of that shit, man. I feel like fucking big bearded hippies with guitars are now the Auric High chasing down, searching for Middle Earth or whatever. You know what I'm talking about.
I don't know. What can I say? Decemberists get car bombed. Ed Harcourt falls down an elevator shaft. You know, Yo La Tengo gets an execution style. Head, heart, and then crotch. Piece de resistance, I guess. You know, it's funny though, because back in the day, they didn't bring it up. I mean, back in the 50s and 60s, musicians were dying like every day. I mean, Buddy Holly, you know, Richie Valens, Big Bopper, with a wiggle and a walk and a giggle and a talk, boom, ah, he dies. No one says anything about that, and now there's all this claptrap about indie rock warfare. I mean, I don't know what to say. Did you drop a free pebble?
No. But why Indie-Folk-Rock-Alternative?
I said why. Told you not to say that. Okay, so we're not rap, we're not heavy metal, you know, we don't get to be aggressive on stage, you know, so it bottles up. And it's got to be released somehow. John Denver beat his wife. He's got his way, we've got our way.
Hey man, it's modern times, you can't really even begin to explain it. Some people, they don't even go by coast anymore, you know what I mean? It's like up is down and left is, I don't even know where. What about landlocked states, huh? What about, God forbid, Canada, right? Sufjan fucking Stevens writing a new album about every state. I tell you, that boy's confused is what it is, man.
Well, it comes with the territory. I mean, there's a reason that Emmylou Harris and Alison Krauss aren't at each other's necks.
Why?
Well, because they're more country. They're not really alternative rock.
What about Jack Johnson or John Mayer?
No, they're not indie. They're just alternative.
And Connor Oberst?
Well, he's more of an indie rock emo. No, wait, he's indie emo rock alternative.
No, you know what? Andrew Bird doesn't name names.
Okay.
Okay?
All right.
Andrew fucking Bird, baby. I'm Andrew Bird. Do you realize who I am?
Yes.
I got a fan base of
Andrew.
over 2,000 people,
You don't
okay?
have to name
When I
anything.
walk into a coffee shop, all right, the girls with the thick Coke bottle glasses and the faded ironic print t-shirts, I can get that girl,
All right.
okay?
All right.
2 of them, maybe. Maybe
sure you
3
can.
of them.
That's-
Maybe 4 of them.
Well, okay,
But
4 of them, but...
that's pushing it. But I just want you to know that I ain't no snitch. Andrew Bird
I got it.
is no snitch.
Andrew,
I'll-
no, let's just sit down, okay? You don't have to name any names. I didn't mean to hurt your feelings.
Oh,
or
I
anything. I don't want to get
name
anybody in
names?
trouble. No, just shit, man. Let's get going, all right?
I'm sorry.
No offense.
Andrew Bird gets worked up. Turbulent is Andrew Bird's inside.
Didn't want to do that to Andrew Bird. What about, what's her name? Cat Power.
Well, she's more of a smoky alternative jazz.
Belle and Sebastian.
Ironic indie pop.
Calexico.
Snugglecore.
Snugglecore?
Yep. Snugglecore.
What about My Morning Jacket?
That's good. We didn't think about them.
You know, I think one of the interesting things that we have to keep in mind is that attending one of these concerts is a funny thing. You see these people up on stage glorified as hippie bearded gods. Maybe they smoke a little bit too much of their reefer doobie smackhead joints. But the important thing to remember is that these people are vile, psychotic lunatics who are going off the fucking chain. Don't believe me? Why don't you check out M. Ward?
I'm M. Ward, motherfucker. The M stands for motherfucker, man. I grew up on some mean streets, man. My boy Tron, when I was 9 and he was 10, man, he got his motherfucking head blown off by a banjo player, motherfucker. I play fucking music, I get up on the microphone, I'm like, hey, Bill, yourself. The beer can back there. Fucking Sparrow Quartet is fucking shit, man. You just wanna, some fucking shit, man. Fucking sauce is weak, man. They don't got no sauce. I'm in your motherfucking mailbox, man.
So when will the bloodshed end? When Zach Braff decides to make soundtracks less attractive to the mainstream? When indie folk rock alternative artists learn to release their aggression in healthier ways, like John Denver? Or maybe when they remember why they first got into the business. Why did you become a musician?
Titties. No. Titties and the chronic.
I needed the proper outlet for my beard.
Look, I wanted to be involved in music, but I'm just not musically involved. Yeah.
Because there aren't enough depressing songs about Santa Claus.
Fuck with me, I will punch you in the butt, motherfucker.
God, it's great to be alive. Takes the skin right off my hide. To think I'll have to give it all up someday.